Welcome back, everyone. This is Wisconsin Shoe Guy, and welcome to another style showcase. Now, today we're going to look at two very interesting boots that are of the same style, which is a split toe boot. Now, split toes have this joint here where it connects the two toes. They normally have an apron like so. And the type of sewing on the apron can vary as much as it can for split toe shoes. And the boots have a shaft here, and normally they have this facing on the outside, but not always. Okay, and so what you can see here is this has a reversed reverse stitch here for the split toe. Has a totally different apron. Okay, has a one piece for the boot. It doesn't have a shaft. Has a basically a counter that goes all the way to the top of the shaft, and then comes down here just past the heels. And this is also a Norvégese stitch, so a different type of construction. Instead of a Goodyear welted, this is a Norvégese welting, which is a type of hand welting. Right? And generally speaking, the bottom of these stitches is actually stitched into the insole. And then if you look really carefully, you can see that the upper was then stitched into the sole, but the upper is still around the entire area here. In fact, this fudging is in the upper. You can see the grain. More importantly, you can feel the grain all the way around the shoe as you go. So very different construction. This is a Meerman boot, and this is in a Tibbet grain. And here, this is a Gaziano and Girling boot, and this is in a Horween Hatch grain. So now there's a huge difference in price between these two. This one, I actually don't know the full price because this was actually a gift to me from Meerman. But I believe that, their hand-welted boots in this particular style are going to run about $350. I had it so it was customized, so that would have added another $100 or so. 130 usually is what they charge for hand welting as a custom way. So, but as we look at these, there are a lot of similarities, right? This has no eyelets. This has eyelets, metal eyelets here. Now, on the Gaziano and Girling, there are actually no inside eyelets either, so that's a little different. They're both lined. The Meerman hand-welted line, this is a 106-696. This is in a Deploy leather. And this on the inside of the Gaziano and Girling. It feels similar, probably a little bit higher grade on the lining. Just like, everything about the Gaziano and Girling, which is, going to cost about $1,000 more than the other one. And so that's a pretty significant difference there. Now, a lot of that is, seen throughout the boot, in the stitch density and the quality of this particular stitch here. A lot of this is done by hand, whereas this, some of that may be done by hand as well. But the quality is really different. You can see just in looking at it where the leather doesn't show, it's just a lot tighter. This is a Goodyear welted boot, though, with storm welt. Now, of course, the lasts are incredibly different. And so they're both have this little bit of an almond toe to them, although this is much more chiseled with a little bit of a square off the top. This is the MH71 last, and this is the RO, I think actually this is the Hero last, now that I remember it. So a little bit different there as well. Now this has your traditional welt, right, with no finishing because it is a boot on rubber. Okay, now it's a very, very finely done with a much narrower waist. Okay, and again, it's just a lot cleaner in the presentation. That's not to say that there's anything wrong with the Meerman boot. A lot of people will complain about Meerman, but the quality of these boots is very good, and is, probably some of their best work. So now this is not a separate facing. This is actually just a stitch here to make it look like a facing. So that's a little bit different. Now the leather quality, this Tibbet grain is not nearly the quality of the Hatch grain, but that is okay because the lining on it is pretty strong, and so it has a pretty nice feel to it when you wear it. It's something to keep in mind is it doesn't really matter how good a shoe or boot looks. It's really all about wearing it. And both of these are boots that I've worn, you know, for a good long day. My feet don't really hurt in either of them at the end of a day, although they do feel better in the G&G, but marginally so. So I don't want to oversell that. Now I will say that I do like the shape of this better. I think it dresses up a little bit more, so you can probably get away with this, even with a suit, where this one is definitely on the more casual side. But the split toe boot itself is a very versatile boot. You know, you can do it with heel caps, without heel caps. You know, these have this very, very different design on the back with kind of a field boot, you know, strap on the back there. You know, this has a little strap here for pull up. This one is more integrated into the length. So, you know, there's a lot of little itty bitty things that you can have and choose as options on these styles. And it really is a classic style. So as you're looking for something to add to your collection, I recommend this style. If you like split toes, I think that the split toe boot can be a really, really warm addition to your collection. Now, I will say, for myself, I've gotten away from this style. I used to have probably, if you look at my past videos, you'll probably see that at one point I had probably 8 of these boots, and I have reduced that collection significantly down to these. I really prefer the reverse toe, and I prefer hand welted in this style, and I prefer the G&G above all. So I kept my favorite hand welted, and you know, just really an exciting pair of boots. I like both of them, and they both have very different utility to me. And what's funny is that this is the rougher looking boot, but it has leather soles, and this is the more refined looking boot, and it has rubber soles. And I think that that's an important thing to think about as you're thinking of boot and what you want to wear them for is, are you looking for something that you're going to wear in a street environment or in a dirt environment? Because the rubber sole or the leather soles are great and they work really, really well for streets. And when you're wearing them on the earth, they're after they're broken in, they're fine, but they're never ever quite as good as rubber. You know, when you're hiking trails and stuff like that. So, food for thought there. In any case, this is the style of the split toe boot. I hope that I've at least shown you one thing relatively new, and thanks for watching and appreciate your support.